Stop getting in the way of your own success. Remember this: self-sabotage is the death of your dreams. Many of you watching this video were not too different than I was not too long ago. And in fact, 3 years ago, I really didn't have a whole lot going for me. But here's the thing is I saw a lot of people having success. I saw a lot of people generating lots of revenue, generating lots of money, and being able to do a lot of cool stuff. And it made me feel very jealous. It made me feel very envious of, I suppose, what others had that I didn't have. And I knew for a fact that having these material things or having awesome trips and being able to do really cool stuff wasn't necessarily the secret to life or what I was missing out on. But in fact, it was instead what I knew that having those things represented. And having nice things was more to me a significance of accomplishing the things that you know that you are capable of and living a life that you know represents that you did some really cool shit in your life. And so it's okay if you're in that position. Inside of here, what we're going to do is we're going to create peak awareness. So that way you are really able to understand what you need to do to stop getting in your own way. Because as we talked about a lot on this channel, is how there's a lot of dumb people that are becoming way more successful than you. There's a lot of people that are doing a lot of stupid things with their money that you could do, put better use to. And you would be able to serve so many more people and be a much more fuller version of yourself. And we live in a day and age of the internet and where people will create JPEGs and make a ton of money and create a bunch of just hype online and make a ton of money. And so not only are we teaching you how to leverage it, but the main thing is Charlie Munger always talks about inverse problem solving. And so it's not purely just about knowing what it is that we need to become and what are these people doing that we're not doing, but more importantly, what are the things that successful people aren't doing that us average people or people that haven't seen, the success, what is it that we're doing that they are not doing? And so inside of here, we're going to uncover 10 different things that you are, as soon as you start to become aware of these tendencies that we have from the comfortability of this life that we've been shown, especially if we've grown up lower middle class or even upper middle class, and we're not really amongst the 0.01%, understanding these things and being aware of them will allow us to generate a lot less friction than we have now. Because the main thing is we are in our own way, very simply put. The reason why we are not having success is because we overthink things. We overcomplicate things. And in fact, instead of what I had to realize was when I was really stuck at, making, a few $1,000s a month and what was really preventing me from making 10, 20, and now at this point, making $500,000 a month, what it really boiled down to was I was making things way too complicated. And in fact, I'm going to tell you through my journey and through my story. In fact, when you start making more money, it's actually simpler and easier than it was when I was trying to make my first $5,000 a month. And it's because you boil things down to the simplest, finest, singular components that understanding to repeat these things over and over again are the things that create leverage. They're the things that create the ability to have freedom, to be able to create the things that you're able to have ownership of and create real value in the marketplace, which in return generates you money. So normally I have a lot of silly intros, a lot of silly videos. I don't know if the view behind me is inspiring me to kind of be a little bit more forward and direct with my content today. But let's stop self-sabotaging ourselves and let's stop killing our dreams. And instead, let's get out of our own ways and our own success and the potential that we have right in front of us. Because I know watching this video, you see what your fullest potential is. And you're not that. And you feel like you're not on a trajectory towards that. You don't have clarity on what you need to be doing right now and the ultimate what things actually could be. And so inside of here, I'm going to help you curate a little bit of a vision towards being able to have that success and to help you to stop self-sabotaging yourself. And so the first thing I wanted to jump into was the fear of failure. I think a lot of the times for me when I was getting started was I was very afraid of not only the embarrassment of me doing the wrong things, but on top of that, just what the worst outcome really could be. And let me share with you something that I had to really learn that helped unchain myself from success and allow myself to not be in my own way. And it is the fact of viewing failure instead of as failure, but instead as an, a data point that allows me to understand life and circumstances and reality and the things that provide value a lot better. And every single failure that I started running into, instead of viewing it as this is the end of the world, I'm about to die, because biologically that's what we all resort to is we think that as soon as we fail, then we're going to get shamed from our social circles. And so when we get shamed from our social circles, that means death and that we're not going to be able to have kids. And so when we realize that it's just kind of an entirely biological experience that we're having, then we can understand that, oh, okay, actually failure isn't going to lead to death and me not being able to spread my genes into the gene pool. But in fact, it is a data point that's going to allow you to be better at your craft. And in fact, the people that have had the most success, you talk to any person that has had tremendous success, including myself, you will find that they have probably had more failures than anybody that you know that isn't successful. The people that are very successful, that have done great things, create $100 million businesses, $1 billion businesses, the thing is they just had tremendous success, or tremendous failure. And what they did was, though, is they failed as fast as they possibly could, because what they realized was failure is the barrier to entry of becoming the best version of yourself and to be able to provide real value to the marketplace. Because in fact, when we fail, when we eat shit, when we see the worst side of life, those times are something that everybody is going to go through at some point in their life. They're going to have something that goes wrong. And when you have gone through these failures and you've been able to see the other side, you're able to create value in the marketplace. You're able to create value for other people. You're able to create value for other beings. And the thing is what is money? Money is a scoreboard of value that you've created for the marketplace. And so once you realize that, you realize what you need to do is the more failures that you go through, these are more data points. These are more stories that you get to tell. These are more deeper understandings of the root of the problems that you have in front of you. And so as soon as I understood that failure was the key to me being able to have success and create value in the marketplace, I wanted to fail as fast as I could while being smart. So it got me off the fence. And so view failure. And so as soon as you start to kind of view this ego that we have around failure and how we're perfectionists, the thing is, I want you to instead is when you're like, oh, I don't know if I should go do that, I might fail. Instead, before you just decide to not make the action on the decision, instead, I want you to look at your bank account, or look at yourself in the mirror, or look at your Google Calendar and see how many dumbass meetings that you have this week with people, to just have meetings for the sake of having meetings and realizing they're just some just waste of time. And so before you decide, no, I'm not going to do this because I don't want to fail, I don't want to lose money, I don't want to risk this thing or whatever, I want you to take a really good look at yourself and ask yourself, are you in a place to avoid failure? Because if you are somebody that is very dissatisfied with where you are, with how your body looks, with, the way that people treat you, or with yourself financially, then what you need to do is look at yourself and ask yourself, are you in a place to avoid failure? And so as soon as I started to realize that I am not in a place to avoid failure, I was able to unbreak the chains and go really quickly. I was able to have a lot of failure and create a lot of data points and get better at failing less. So a lot of it isn't just avoiding failure. Instead, it's just more, how can I fail less? And, it's like the people that have the best batting average when it comes to baseball, they're people that have a 33% batting average, which is, they hit the ball 33% of the time. So that means the other 2/3 of the time, the other 67% of the time, they are striking out, they're popping up, they're not getting contact with the ball, or they're failing. So the most successful people in baseball are the people that fail 2/3 the time. They just fail a little bit less than everybody else. And so the best people in business are people that have those batting averages of they fail a little bit less than everybody else. The other way too to be amazing at baseball is you're the person with the most at bats, the person with the most chances to hit the ball and the most chances to be at the plate to have an opportunity to hit a home run or hit a base hit or, strike out. And so the more at bats you give yourself and the higher you increase your at batting average, which AKA the less you fail, expecting that you're going to fail a bunch, the better you're going to be at the game of baseball, AKA the game of business and life. So the second thing on my list is procrastination. And, this is not something that is behind me one bit. Procrastination is something I struggled with for a very, very long time until honestly about a year ago. And what helped me overcome this procrastination was once I started to take ownership of things and when I started to take responsibility. And when I say responsibility, I mean more like I started hiring people and having people that I owed money or not owed money to, but I had to pay at the end of the month. And if I wasn't able to pay them or I wasn't able to do as promised, and you don't have to necessarily do this on the scale of paying people right away, but I was telling people I was going to go do something. And then as soon as I was in a position where if I didn't do that something, then I was responsible for them not being able to feed their family or for them to be able to go accomplish their dreams. And I realized I was the person that was in the way of these people that were trying to do something. And so instead of viewing something like procrastination as, like it was like this force, instead, whenever I saw myself that I was struggling to make progress, instead, I probably lacked clarity and I probably lacked responsibility. And so as soon as I started taking on more responsibility of my dreams and other people's dreams and other people's goals and my family's dreams and people around me that I really care about, procrastination went right out the window. So the next thing on this list is lack of self-confidence. So here's the thing is self-confidence is created from action. You can't have confidence without previous experience of you doing things well. But here's the thing is so you can manipulate yourself, you can trick yourself, you can hack your brain to thinking that you're a very confident being. And the way that you do this is what is known as momentum. And so what I have found is when I am lacking confidence inside us, I try to create momentum in my life. And the way that you create momentum isn't by doing the big thing. The big thing is the success or the end result. But the big thing you don't just you don't just like create a big snowball just out of nowhere. What happens is the snowballs are created from momentum. And so what you need to do is see what are the little things that you're accomplishing in the day and finding the smallest little wins that, most people are just like, oh yeah, whatever. Of course, everyone does that. Like, you made your bed today or you brushed your teeth today and taking those little small wins and turning them into victories. So as soon as like one thing that not chronically, but what I really struggled with in my life that I think robbed my own happiness for the longest time was anything that I did that was like could be classified as an accomplishment. I would rob myself from that experience. And when I would rob myself from that experience, I felt depressed. I felt like life wasn't worth it. I felt like, I was like, why do I wake up every single day? And I was very negative to be around. And so what I did is I started to view all the little things that I was doing, like, oh, I got a workout in. Oh, I went on a walk today. Or, oh, I recorded a video. Or, oh, I threw up some posts. Or I created a YouTube video. Or, I sent a message over to so-and-so. I talked to my mom today. And those little things, I created them as little wins instead of as failures or just as like a normal nuanced thing of the day. And what that started to do is it started to build momentum of this winning mentality that I was crushing it every single day. So stop robbing yourself from that experience. You need to stop getting in your way of celebrating those successes. And so as soon as you stop robbing yourself from those experiences, you're able to see how much you really are truly winning on a day-to-day basis. And so as soon as I stop sabotaging my own ability to feel and feel excited about these little things, the more these big wins started to come, then you start seeing the real change. You start seeing things like larger and larger numbers of money entering into your bank account, which ultimately allows you to create freedom in your life. the freedom to not have to go show up to the job, to the freedom to not have to show up to that bullshit meeting, the freedom to decide what you want to do, the freedom to be where you want to be. So one other thing that creates a lot of momentum and gets in the way of most people's success is the neglection of your health. And so all I have on this point real quick is you may think that it has nothing to do with you making money as to how healthy you are, how much you take care of your body. But if you have splitting migraines and you feel like dog shit every single day and it gets in the way, it seems like, it seems like you never have the energy. What I always do is I force myself to feel the pain, to feel the suffering. I choose suffering over suffering choosing me. And the way that I do this is I do things like I go to the gym, I will go for walks, I will take care of myself, I will eat healthy, I will cook from home instead of eating out, or especially if you're eating some bullshit like McDonald's or Taco Bell, you need to stop doing that immediately because there's just all sorts of shit inside of there. You need to have like simple ingredients, things that are like simple, like there's 3 ingredients on the thing that you're eating. You wanna keep it very simple. If you don't know what you're reading, you probably shouldn't eat it. Like, if you don't know what the words mean and it's just some complicated word, then it's probably not good for your health. Number 5 is the resistance to change. So, I view one thing that I've seen with helping so many people become successful, and especially on this journey to creating 1,000 millionaires right now, is people being in their environment. I found that when I have coaching calls, when I talk with people and they're in the same environment and they talk to me in the same environment over and over again, they they run into a lot of kind of common bottlenecks or issues or, limitations of the mind. And a lot of these can be simply cleared up by changing your environment. So a couple ways of doing this, there's like a couple free cheap ways and a couple ways that involve not spending too much money, but spending some money. And so the free and cheap ways that I found that help me the most is when I clean up my space. So if I have like a bunch of shit all around me, I find that I can't really think that well. And so what I will do is I will, at least a couple times a week, or now what I do is I hired house cleaners to just go to my house and clean up my area, make sure that it's all clean. And then kind of throughout the week, I have kind of some semi-daily maintenance where I make sure that my environment's as cleaned up as possible and best set for success. So at my home office, I have for when I'm recording something, I have like, the camera is already always set up. All I have to do is click a couple buttons on my computer and I can record a video. For me to go work, it doesn't require any work. I just get out of bed, go walk over to my computer and I can get work done. I can go make money. I can go make money real quick and then I can go move on with my day and go do whatever the hell else that I want because it's so easy to go and do. If you create more friction for these things, then it makes it hard for you to want to work. And so instead, you can hack your brain by creating friction around the things that waste your time. So the ways that you can do this is you can set limits on your phone. So you can only spend so much time on different apps and stuff. You can also set it up to where, like for your TV, one thing I used to do is I would set like the HDMI cable or the remote, and I would put it in some like very inconvenient location. So then if I really wanted to watch TV, I'd have to like go all the way across my house and like go watch it. And then when I was done, I would go put it back. And it wasn't like a big deal if I did watch TV or whatever, but I would just make it extremely inconvenient for myself. And what I would do is I would make work convenient. I would set my office. Sometimes I would just have my desk in my living room when I had a smaller place. And it was way easier for me to work than it was for me to just screw around and do whatever. And instead of filling the space of watching things, I would just do nothing because it was just easier to do nothing. Easier to do nothing and then pick up work when I was bored than it was for me to just go watch Netflix and the convenience of that. Now I haven't watched Netflix or anything in a long time or watch a bunch of bullshit. And it's actually harder for me to go watch Netflix now because it's like I have no interest in any shows. I don't have any friends that talk about shows. I don't even know what the hell is on there. I think they come up with like new shit every single week of just like another 20 hours that you can spend on their platform. And so me not knowing what the hell is even going on any of these things, it's very inconvenient for me to go watch a show because it's like they're slow pace. I have to go like allocate so much time to it. It's very inconvenient. So you want to make the things that are important to you and the growth of your success and your life to be very convenient. You want the things that are hard or that like make life hard, you want them to be very inconvenient, like watching TV or doing some bullshit or eating junk food. And so the next one I have on my list here is perfectionism. So here's the thing. I haven't recorded a video in a few weeks. And even after me not doing it for a few weeks, it's very like it's a little bit hard to like get back on recording, even though I've done this thousands of times now at this point. There's always going to be, if you take a little bit away, it's hard for you to kind of get going again. And so there's something that I tell myself on a very regular basis. I optimize for the ability to just put out things and not care about the result. And because I do that, I don't really care how good things do. I make the best that I can do. I know that I can always, clean it up or fix things a little bit later, or I can adjust, but I never force myself to try to do things perfectly, because as soon as I start trying to make things perfect, it eliminates the ability for me to move. And success and making progress is all about action and pivoting and getting constant feedback loops and making progress very quickly. And so as soon as you try to have this perfection, this ADD, this perfectionism mindset, and you're overthinking everything, you lost. And so one trick that I do that helps me a lot is, I got this from the guy from Jackass, Steve-O. One thing that he does before he does all these whack stunts is he will count down from 5 on his hand. He'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then as soon as he counts down from 5, he does whatever the thing is. And he's programmed his brain to, as soon as he counts down, he has to do whatever the hell it is. And so now that you've created an environment where it's easy for you to work, and if it's hard for you to work and you're kind of procrastinating a little bit, as you're laying there, maybe when you're done with this video, go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go do whatever the hell it is that you need to go do right now. Maybe it's to go clean, maybe it's to go journal, maybe it's to go make a video, whatever it may be. Count down, and that will help. And then whatever the outcome is of your thing, you have to detach yourself from the results, because there's only one thing that we can control when it comes to success, and that is the inputs. That is the work that we do. The thing that we can't control is the end result. But what we can do is we can adjust our inputs so then the end result changes. And the way that we get the best result possible is by having lots of data points. As we were talking about the baseball analogy earlier, the sooner that you have more inputs, the sooner that you have more swings, the person that has 100 swings versus the person that's had 50,000 swings. The person that has 50,000 swings, they have all these data points of all these different speeds and types of pitches and what they're best at and what they're worst at. And what you can start doing is just start swinging at the pitches that you will hit the best at batting average, and the pitches that aren't that for you, you don't swing at. The people that are the most successful in baseball are the ones that know themselves very strongly and what the best results they get when they swing at certain types of pitches. And so what you need to find out is, through lots of experiences, what are the best pitches for you, and what are the things that you can hit the farthest, the most consistent, and will get you the result over and over again. And so the best way to get the most amount of data points, or let's look at it inversely, the worst way to get the inputs is to have less data, is to have less observation of results. And so as soon as you start thinking perfectionism, instead start thinking to yourself, what are the things that I can do that'll get me more data points and will get me more volume of things instead of perfection of things. So for me, recording this video, it's easy for me to default to thinking I need to have a perfectionist mindset when I'm recording this. But instead, what I do is I program my brain to realize that as soon as I start thinking that, I need to do the thing so that way I can get then I can get the data and the feedback and just get the thing out there, because me getting things out there will impact more people. Me being selfish and trying to make something perfect is going to make it so I don't have this beautiful video for you guys to all watch and be able to learn and overcome, because I'm on this mission to creating 1,000 millionaires. That's why you should subscribe and watch a lot of my other content. And so the last few things on side of here is poor financial management. So poor financial management, here's the thing. I'm not some sort of tax advisor. I'm not a good numbers guy. But what I have learned is what you should invest all of as much money as you can. And the one thing that no government can take away from you, the one thing that is always going to be with you, the one thing that is going to allow you to have more leverage than you can ever imagine, is by investing in yourself and your knowledge and your skill sets. And the better your knowledge and your skill sets are, the more that you're able to create value in the marketplace, the more of these data sets that you have, the more you're able to be able to move quickly. And the more that you can just pay for other people's data sets and then just have those people's data sets given to you, the easier it is for you to know exactly what you need to do with your specific circumstance, with your given assets or your given resources that you have, and you can move faster now that you have these data sets. So when it comes to financials, instead of, buying that watch or, that bag or the stupid thing like that Netflix subscription, instead invest that into things that actually grow you as a person, turn you into an asset. So the way I like to view it is like I'm a video game character in The Sims. And the more that I level up each of these different categories, the more that I'm able to get results easier on The Sims. So I want to level up my networking or my connection. I want to level up my money making ability. I want to level up all these things. So then when I'm faced with day-to-day life, I'm able to get the best possible outcome with every individual thing that I do. And so next thing is not really knowing what you want. One thing that I really struggled with seeing success is not setting clear enough goals and not having clarity on where am I going and where do I want things to go. And here's the thing, you're probably not going to know exactly where you want to go right now. You're kind of maybe a little bit newer in your career, or, this is kind of a phase in your life. What I found is I want freedom. I want options. I want leverage. I want to be able to do what I want when I want. And so the way that I created this was by realizing that I need to, at first it was make 10 grand a month. And then from there, once I made 10 grand a month, then it was, okay, I want to make 100 grand a month. And how I did it, I really, as long as it didn't cross with my morals and it aligned with my values, I would do whatever it took for me to see that success and to get to that point. And so you want to ask yourself, what do you really want? What do you want your day-to-day life to look like? What do you want your morning to look like? What do you want, your dinner to look like? How do you want to end your day? How do you want to start your day? What do you want your average day to look like? And the more clarity that you get on these things, the easier it is for you to have success. So some things that I would do is I would study people's daily routines. I would study people's goals. I would study people in their different phases of their trajectory, and seeing that these people started off in a similar position that I did and got to where I wanted to go. And I just studied kind of the natural progression that they went through. It was very clear to me what I needed to do. And so what you can do, a little life hack for you guys, is you can steal other people's goals and you can steal other people's progressions and simply model what they had for their goals at the different stages in their life and apply that to your life. So not setting clear enough goals is going to make it really difficult for you to have success. So as soon as you get clarity on exactly what the hell you want, and some good methods to do this, not just studying people, but also, journaling. I've also taken long showers. I go for long walks a lot. I talk to other successful people a lot and get clarity on real data sets that are in the world and things that I can apply to my life that I resonate with and things that I don't resonate with. And the more I get clarity on those things, the easier things are. So the next thing on my list, number 9, is neglecting networking and relationships. Here's the thing. If you're not worth anything, it's really difficult for you to network with people. But the thing is when you have relationships with people, it makes success significantly easier for you. And so what I highly advise for you is, like I was talking about the failure earlier, is to just share a failure that you recently went through and put it out there into the universe on social media. And you will have loads of people that went through something similar that you just went through that you can help them go through as well. And what you'll find is people that are wildly successful, a lot of times it's not about money for them. Instead, it's about maybe health. Maybe you went through some sort of health condition and you were on the other side of that. And then there's some wealthy person that's going through that similar health condition looking for you to help them. Now you have, boom, a new mentor, a new person in your network. And a lot of it too is I see people message me hundreds of times a day asking me, Devin, how do I get, to like whatever results, be my mentor, all this stuff. Instead, what you want to do is this. Say, hey, Devin, I am, building this faceless YouTube channel and I have done 35 videos on this channel and, I've gotten this type of result. Can you take a quick, 2 minutes real quick to look at my channel and see what I'm missing? Because, I've tried this, I've tried going over here, I've done this. Okay, what should I do next? I'm not telling you guys all to do that to me right now, but for whatever it is that you're facing and you see someone that has probably been through what you're going through and is able to help you, the more that you're able to just show kind of like this list of things and make it easy for them, and it's not inconvenient and it provides value to them by, it being a higher level question or, it being a kind of a asked in a way that hasn't normally been done before. And it relates and it resonates with the person. You may not get a response from everybody, but if you do this enough to enough people, you will get people that have had experience with what you're trying to face and they will want to help you. Here's the thing. No one's gatekeeping shit when it comes to making money. All the information is already out there. There is nobody that's just like, oh, I'm going to withhold this from anybody so then I can be the only person making money. The people that are like that are broke. The people that are abundantly successful and they've done a lot of cool shit, they are more than happy to give their blueprint out because they used to be just like you. And so instead of viewing them as, oh, nobody likes to give out information, you probably just suck at asking questions. You probably have no personality. And so instead, develop your personality, get better at asking questions. And as soon as I started getting better at asking questions, and the sooner I developed a personality and a reason for people to talk to me, the more that people want to give me advice and want to become my mentor or help me through what I'm doing, or want to be my friends, etc. And so here's the thing is if you look around and you have a bunch of friends that are losers that aren't doing anything, stop hanging out with them. It's that simple. That's what I did. I'm not saying you need to cut everybody out of your life. Just you got stuff that you got to work on. You got goals like we just talked about. You got things that you're working towards that are more important than you drinking and just doing nothing on the weekends. And so last but not least is I see this happen way too much is you guys have shiny object syndrome. What you need to do is pick one thing. Just pick one thing. And as soon as you pick that one thing, just go all in and maximizing whatever that thing is. And just be ruthlessly striving towards that one business or that one way of making money and doing it. All of them work. All of the ways that you guys see of making money online work. You can become an influencer. You can go, build faces, YouTube channels. You can go build e-commerce stores. You can go build a window washing business. It really doesn't matter. There's all of these different ways of making money online and just pick the one thing and say no ruthlessly to everything else and go all in on that one thing. As soon as you go all in and you ruthlessly chase after your goals, you will see success. And so I'm going to recap real quick. The 10 ways that people are in their own way of success or you're in your own way of success and that you need to cut it out. And like I said, these are things, we'll go through the list, but these are things that it's just more of an awareness. If you go backwards on your thing, let's say that you stopped, you went and watched Netflix for 12 hours again and you've been trying to quit that habit or you quit drinking and then now you drink again, is do not beat yourself up. Just realize you're human. It's like all these things are like all these platforms, all these social medias, all these things that make a lot of money. They hire people from these Ivy League colleges that are experts with like crazy amounts of years of experience, the best of the best to create these things, to program your brain to go and do them and habitually do these things over and over again. And so if you do these things again, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. If you fail on any of the things on this list, you struggle with any of this, it's okay. The world is meant to create you to be poor. And that's just how life is. That's how life is created. It's convenient. It's comfortable. And so if you go backwards, it's okay. Just what you need to do is be aware. And as soon as you have awareness, that is the secret. And you're constantly just doing at least 1% better. Don't expect black and white day and night, just like cold turkey on whatever the hell it is. And that you're just all of a sudden this thing. It's a journey, not a destination. The destination seekers are the ones that are just littered across the land that died on this progress of chasing after their dreams. And you're not going to die in your dreams because you are slowly getting better at not self-sabotaging yourself, allowing yourself to unlock freedom and heights that you know are possible and know are out there for you. And your ability to slowly stop self-sabotaging yourself is what really I'm trying to search for and seek for you inside this video. So the 10 things: fear of failure, procrastination, lack of self-confidence, neglecting health, resistance to change, perfectionism, poor financial management, not setting clear enough goals, neglecting networking and relationships, and overcommitting. And so here's the thing. Success is right in front of you. It's all around you. Everywhere you go, there's lots of money. The phone you have in your hand, the computer that you're watching this on, or the TV, that's money. There's one of those in every single American hands and households all across the nation. Hundreds of millions of these things. Millions, billions, trillions of dollars out there. Every single house, every building that you drive by, every car, every little piece of pavement or concrete, maybe even trees planted. Each of these things are money, their value. Finances are all around you. It's up to you to realize and recognize that there is abundance all around you and that it is for yours to seize. And so the way that we go and seize all of these things is to just do our best that we can every single day and constantly keep improving, and to self-sabotage ourselves a little bit less each and every day. My name is Devin Knupp. I'll see you guys all in the next one.